Howdy, howdy, everyone. We're here. Welcome. Thank you guys all so much for stopping by. For those of you that don't know how this basically works, we have Q&A sessions every single Tuesday and Thursday. Basically a follow-up to whatever the video was for Monday or Wednesday. This is just your opportunity to ask any sort of questions that you had, whether it be for the video or just in general, anything about the Pokemon hobby, whatever you want to ask. That is what today is going to be all about. Obviously, you guys know what yesterday's video topic is. You want to talk about it? We can. If you don't want to, that's okay. Either way, I'm here to answer all your guys' questions. And when I say all your guys' questions, I literally mean all your guys' questions. If you donate, of course, I appreciate the donation. I will answer your question immediately. But if you don't donate, you don't have to. I will immediately answer your question in the order, or I shouldn't say immediately. I will answer your question in the order in which I receive them, and I usually go through and answer about 95 to 100% of them. So howdy to everyone. Let's give shout outs to everyone here. Gabriel, shout out to Gabriel for being first. Howdy, y'all. Coolest Shive, second. Firestorm, John, Tyrone doing the T meme. Just pull the gold origin form Dialga. Heck yeah, dude, that's a sick pull. Dan, Anonymous. What's up, Travis? Eli's currently on toilet, but we'll be like, yeah, right. Dan, Babe Cakes. What's up, Babe Cakes? How we doing? UT Long, Hash Catchem. Why has Beedrill alt art gone up? You know, I gotta take a look because this is new news to me. So let's take a look and see. Take a little look. Looks like, it sounds like someone is doing a little bit of buyouts. Alt art Beedrill, eh? Going up in value. What's next? Lilligant, hopefully. Alright, let's see what we got. So, Machamp still at its 130. Beedrill, let's see what the price of Beedrill is like. Oh, wow! That went from $23 all the way up. That is crazy. Jeez, dude. I don't know. That's a great question. I wonder, I mean, you gotta wonder why everything's just kind of popping up like that. What about the Palkia from the origin form? No, that's been going down. That hasn't done anything. Interesting. That's interesting to know. Hey, what's up, John? Is Celebrations really getting a reprint? So one of the things that I want to make a little bit of clarification on. So Tic Tac, who is the one who posted the picture, he messaged me and wanted to help bring a little clarification. So the picture was not a picture that was for himself of his product. It was actually one of the local game stores on how much product they had received. To his knowledge, and this is coming straight from him and sources he has from distributors, so I want to give a shout out to him for that. He said that it was a restock. So, and it was a specific, so Australia has one distributor because, I mean, they're not that large compared to the United States. And that one distributor had a small amount of product, and it looks like it was kind of a certain LGSs got the majority of them. And so one of the LGSs that he took a picture of, that was one of them that gotten a ton more than most people usually got. So expectation, it sounds more along the lines of it's just a restock. Now, could that have been a small wave? It's entirely possible, but I don't know how likely it is. So that's, you know, we'll have to wait and see with that. Like I mentioned before in my last video, we did see there has been times where Pokemon Center has restocked Celebrations product. So it was about a month ago, 2 months ago, we saw that last happen. So odds are probably, you know, still leaning towards it not happening, but it still gives us at least a little bit of hope knowing that product still pops up every so often from here to there. But I feel like you really have to be able to snipe these opportunities, kind of like what we saw with the Evolving Skies ETBs. It'll come quick and you got to be ready for it. So, you know, Twitter notifications, got to be ready for those, that's for sure. Yeah, dude, Machamp alt art went up like a crazy amount. Like a crazy amount. It was, I mean, look at this. It was straight up going for 50 and then all the way to 125. That's incredible. Do price changes have to do with playability? So Babe Cakes, that is a factor. But if you take a look at Machamp specifically, it has terrible moves. So the value of this going up doesn't make any sense outside of the fact that, you know, there's an argument to be made it could have been undervalued, but who knows? And there could be potentially someone just doing a bunch of buyouts, like, and there's just a high volume about it. Versus if we take a look at, like, let's say the Beedrill, for example. Let's look at the Beedrill pricing. So Beedrill pricing, basically you've got just I mean, it just also bumped up as well. Let's see what the attacks do. This attack does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each of your Beedrill V in play. I mean, so you could do, what, 350, 300 damage around? Something like that? This attack does 40 damage for each. I mean, this isn't a crazy good card. Not unless you have literally a way that you can throw your deck with 6 Beedrill. So I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like a competitively viable thing, in my opinion. But I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I almost want to see, too, if there's a difference of representation. Let's see if Pokédata has anything when looking at the average sales. Because that'll also pull averages from eBay. And we can also look at eBay as well if we want to do that, too. But Dan doesn't seem like the pull rate's that rough on the card. I think it was going for like 100 max. Yeah, dude, I don't think that alt arts are nearly as hard, at least from personal experience from Brilliant Star. So we'll have to see with that. Snag Celebrations UPC for 220. Hoped I wasn't too impatient. If there's a reprint, bro, I don't. Gabriel, honestly, in my opinion, I think that if there is a reprint, hypothetically, you're talking a low of 100 to 220, which is what I was talking about in the video. So I think you bought in at a great price. Poor Nostalgianomics if this does end up happening, but we'll see. Is it not going to show me? Okay, so if we go look at Raw, can we see recent sales too that are showing up on eBay? That's another thing to take into consideration. You know, that's another thing. There can be price disparities between eBay. Okay, so look, this is great. It says last sold eBay. You've got 125 and then TCG is 102, but this isn't updated. Is this the most recent sale, Raw? This sold 6-1. Okay, so this did sell for 130-ish. Dang, so there you go. Yeah, there you go. That's definitely it. So, yeah, I would definitely love it. I mean, it's nice they have a TCG filter. I definitely wish they had a filter for eBay as well. Like, it's cool. Like, it's nice they have it when you click on it, but it'd be nice if they had just the general filter for, like, the show price on it. Instead of having to go through and click on each one. But yeah, it looks like it's around the same price on eBay, so interesting to see. What reprints confirmed beside Evolving Skies? Confirmed. We have more, to my knowledge, from what my distributor told me. We have more Brilliant Stars coming early this month, so I'm feel pretty confident about that. I'll have to call my distributor and double check with my sales rep, and I'll talk to him about it, but I feel pretty confident about that. Outside of it, I mean, just Brilliant and Evolving. I don't think we have any other confirmation, so definitely hoping for Rebel Clash. That'd be pretty sick if we got that. I saw Rainbow Charizard falling from Brilliant Stars. Can you check what else? Oh, dude, I just saw that, actually. I was on my phone, and I was looking at the price of that, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. And honestly, it makes zero sense to me how the Brilliant Star booster boxes still haven't gone down, considering how much supply has just been added, at least, you know, from what I'm getting from my distributor. Yeah, you take a look at, like, the Rainbow Charizard, man. This is just dumping. Like, this is absolutely dumping. You know what I mean? So it's like, what the heck is up with that? Goodness gracious. And then we take a look at, like, I mean, let's see what the regular one's going for. Let's see if that one's dumping. Oh, yeah, that was up at 200. It's now crashing all the way down to, like, well, let's look up near mint. 180. Yeah, that's not good, guys. That's not good. And by not good, I mean it is good. Yeah, prices are going down on cards, which that makes sense. I would have been stunned if prices didn't. So that's where the real disconnect is the sealed product prices are going up, but the card prices are going down. Which, I mean, I guess that would be a correlation if you're seeing more people open, because then that's more cards going on the market and more product being taken away from the supply. So, I mean, that does, I guess that does make sense, but also it's still a little confusing to me because I still was expecting there to be more booster boxes, but who knows? We'll see pretty soon here. We'll see here, man. I don't know. I'll call my distributor after this and I'll talk to them and see if I can get a confirmation. People finding like really good trainer card combos could potentially make the card more viable, right? I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't know how you're going to make a... I mean, okay. It's possible. Don't get me wrong. It is possible. I mean, a card that comes to mind that could be a good one is, let's go Fusion Strike. I mean, since you're asking a competitively viable question, just a card that comes to mind is the Adventure Discovery, if I'm correct. I think I'm thinking of the right card. Let's go to Uncommons. So unless there's like a competitive tournament deck that's using it and someone's like pulling up an Adventure Discovery. So, because Adventure Discovery is search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon V cards, reveal them and put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. You do that with 2 turns. If you just set that up, you've got 6 Beedrills. And then if you want to start talking about what type of synergy with grass Pokemon you could potentially throw in. I mean, there's got to be a grass Pokemon that probably has some form of synergy that you could use. I mean, just make it 1 less and utilize that, or trainers having to do with grass. But I can't think of any off the top of my head. So, but I would say that card would probably work well with it. Let them sell. They'll pay a pretty penny in 5 years trying to get back, hopefully. Yeah, seriously, dude. Don't prices of cards always try to go down over time? I would say that they tend to go down once as they're still in print, and then shortly after. And then eventually after, like, I want to say 6 months to a year, depending upon demand for the set, then you start to see the trend reverse and start to go up because they're no longer in print. So it definitely takes longer for cards to, you know, shoot back up in value as it does sealed product. Do you think we just have 1 wave of Brilliant left or any more? We're definitely going to see a lot more, Dan, because Brilliant Stars just came out in February, and the fact of the matter is the Pokemon Company is very self-aware of the prices. For them, they care most about the cards that are, you know, in the set to be part of competitions and being competitively playable through being affordable to most people. So if you have booster box prices, which of course booster boxes have the most packs for people to open at a high price, then they're going to address that and try and print it into the ground. So I have a feeling they'll be doing multiple waves. There's a reason why most of the times booster boxes tend to not perform as well as ETBs. It's not because if you take the 1-for-1, take away reprints, brilliant booster boxes wouldn't do better. It really comes down to the fact of the matter that the booster boxes, you know, there's a tendency for them to basically get reprinted far greater because they're so much easier to reprint, on top of the fact that booster boxes as well, they have more packs, and so for that, and so they're trying to, you know, bring down those card prices by having more people open packs and booster boxes. My understanding is chase cards typically don't go down, could be off base there. I mean, it really depends, John Boy, because I mean, chase cards will go down. It just depends on the print of the set and how high the demand is. Because like if you want to take an example like Evolving Skies, right? Evolving Skies, when the set initially did get its, you know, first, and this should be represented on the chart, when it did first come out, the card plummeted. It went to as low as 171, right? And then once we had 0 more supply added to the market, prices continued to climb all the way up to 337. So the thing is the price has gone up almost 100% from its low. So to say that they don't dump, like, it really just comes down to if there's more being printed. If you see a large print of Evolving Skies, you'll see this price start to come down. But there has not been a large print. And I mean, the last print we had, and this correlates perfectly with the chart, was back in November. You saw it kind of bottom out in November, and then slowly in December, it started to go up, and it's been going up since. So it just, when coexisting with demand, since the demand was high for this, you saw it bottom out really quickly, because it crashed pretty heavily, and then it bottomed out pretty quickly, and then it just kept going up. So you just got to be able to, keep printing it, and then once it gets to its final print, then you'll see prices start to, once again, turn back around once it's no longer going to get printed again. But also, can you see how Irida Fa is doing? Yeah, for sure. I think that's just an Astral, if I'm correct. in the main set. Yeah, here we go. How's Irida doing? Irida's going down. Prices have dropped 50% since opening release. Search your deck for a water Pokemon and an item card, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I mean, that's not a crazy good one for a supporter too. It says search your deck for water and an item card. I mean, the item card, I guess, if it said trainer, it'd be a different story, but doesn't Nessa do something like that? I think is who I'm thinking of, right? Doesn't she already do something like that? Put up to any four put up to any four combination of water Pokemon and water energies from your discard pile in your hand. See, that just seems like such a better card. But I don't know, maybe it's just me. But Nessa's not even played that much, so. Tyranital alt art seems to have found the bottom, probably. I mean, I'm surprised. I honestly am surprised at how low it's gone, considering how beautiful the artwork is. Honestly, it'll probably go lower because I'd be stunned if Battle Styles didn't get another reprint. But let's take a look and see the prices. I want to say it's around 50 to 60 bucks. Might be lower. Yeah, it's around 58 is the low, but it says market price 74, so that's probably a light played condition if I were to guess. Sorry, it's taking a second to load. I apologize. I apologize. The frick. Really surprised Irida is so cheap compared to Japanese version. People have started to collect a lot more Japanese, honestly. It's interesting. Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see how much Japanese prices have started to go up so much more over time. So I think it's because there's been a large influx of English collectors going into Japan, and they're very unaware of pricing on things, and so they look at it as a deal when it's not. I feel like that's what makes up a lot of price volume in this community, if I'm being completely honest, is it's a lot of people's ignorance and lack of understanding on what is actual market value or a good price. And so people are willing to pay a lot more over what something should be valued based on supply, because they are just unaware of, you know, how much is out there, how much the card should be valued. And that's kind of just a big problem I see a lot. What's up, Plebosaurus? How we doing, brother? Thanks for stopping by. Man, why is this taking so freaking long to load? Holy moly, dude. I apologize. Do you think that it's better now to buy raw cards and get it graded yourself since raw card prices are dropping? Ooh, that's a great question. Well, it depends on what your long-term goal is, UT. I would say that if your goal is to buy to grade, if you're going the PSA route, I don't think it's a good idea, specifically because with PSA prices, you can, for the most part, get a lot of these cards at the raw for the same price you'd see them in a PSA 9. And that's concerning to me. That really just goes to show you how overinflated PSA 9 card prices have become. And honestly, it really goes to show you, too, how much demand, in my opinion, will probably go down for PSA submissions for Modern, because people are going to realize the money is not there. But I could be totally misguided, but the value just doesn't seem it. Because if you're telling me, right, if you're telling me that you've got a Pokemon card, let's say the Tyranitar, for example. Let's say the Tyranitar is worth $70, and let's say in a 9 it's worth $70. Why is this not registering? I can't even move on the screen. Something's frozen here. Something is frozen here, and I don't know why. Holy moly, dude. Here, let's go back and see if we can pull it up, maybe on Pokedata instead. Is there something on another screen that's freezing? Man, that is crazy. But sorry, basically, let's take like, for example, if we were to say that the Tyranitar, say it's going for 70 bucks, and if you were to grade it, and we can try and look this up too on the price of it, But if you're saying $70 and let's, you know, hypothetically for the argument, predict the price will go down to 25 bucks, 20 bucks, around that. You're telling me that you're going to be losing money out the gate if you were to do that. So unless you're getting a 10 and you have a strong feeling, which a lot of people don't really understand fully grading standards. And to be fair, sometimes there's a level of inconsistency with grading as well when it comes to these grading companies. So it makes it really difficult sometimes to truly know. So actually, I feel like let's do Polka Data because they're going to have the 10s and 9 valuations for what we're going to be looking at. So, but yeah, we're going to be able to answer 2 questions at once. So obviously raw looks like average is going for around 70 bucks. So if you get it a 10, it's going for around 261 bucks, right? If you get it in a 9, it's going to be $113. So there is, I guess, look, if you're grading it right now by current grading standards, you've got that Tyranitar V and you're, you know, buying it for 70 bucks, grading it for 20, and however much insurance is going to be, you're talking about, you know, if you get that 9, you're talking about 15 bucks. So, I mean, who knows, man? That could be a good RR for you. But who's to say prices aren't just going to go down over time, right? Especially since PSA has finally opened $50 grading, which for some people, you know, who knows if they send them in for 50 bucks and then prices end up crashing because everyone is thinking the same exact thing. Like, let's take a look. So it's been just a downtrend. It's been just a downtrend for PSA 10. So look, I said originally, it said 300 on the front. No, 260. And then if we look at 9, yeah, 113. I mean, and when was this last taken? Okay, this was last taken 04/21. Yeah, so they're still working with UI updates right now, so everything's not fully updated. So let's go to eBay and look and see what we can find it actually going for. So let's go Tyranitar V Full Art. PSA 9. All right, let's see recently sold. This music is so throwback. So recently sold 86.91. Yeah, so you're losing money if you get the 9. You're literally losing money. So risk to reward is not there. And that's if the price was $20 to $25. You're talking 50 bucks. Risk to reward's not there in my opinion, but who knows? Could be wrong. Maybe your ratio of hitting the 10s could be better. It really comes down to like what you're grading. I think there is value to be found in grading Ultramodern, but you know, for me, I think it's more in BGS. But I don't know. I could be off on that. I mean, 242. You're hoping that basically for you to make your money's worth, you send in. Let's see. You're talking about. I mean, you're losing basically 10 bucks each time. So, I mean, there's an argument to be made that for every 14 you send in, you're making money, but how much you want to test this out while prices keep going down because supply keeps going up. I don't know. I just bought this damn card the other day. I couldn't live with not owning it anymore and sure as hell wasn't going to pull FTW. It's a gorgeous card, man. I think personally that modern grade card's a bit of a bubble. The pop report for a lot of them are insanely high, like the Charizard 4800 graded 3 on the PSA 10s. I mean, it's definitely up there. I do think that you've seen a large pop of them going down. I mean, if we just want to go back and take, because this is going to be better represented. Let's go sets. Let's go Champions Path. Right here. Champion's Path. Take a look. So the value of the Charizard in a 10, I wonder if it started going up. I mean, 354, that's pretty cheap in my opinion. Like that's for a Charizard card, that's pretty cheap. And I think that really has to do with the pop. The question is, has it started going up or has it started going down? So if we look at the 10, it's so at its high it was selling for 3,500 and crashed, and it is still going down. It's still going down. So I don't think people really have to worry about the prices going up. When you talk about a bubble, I think that bubble's burst. For playability, Melanie is better than Irida, I think. Let's take a look. Let's see. There's always value to be made in finding trainer cards that you can invest in, that's for sure. Ooh. Melanie says, attach a water energy from your discard pile to one of your V Pokemon. If you do, draw 3 cards. That's a crazy better card. Wow, yeah, shout out to you on that point out. Hey, got something to take care of. I should be back for the last part of the stream. Hey, thanks for stopping by as always, Travis. Hope to see you in the later part. 38 watching, only 7 likes. Let's get this up, man. Thanks for the shout out on the FTW. Yeah, make sure you guys leave a like. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you want to enter into our weekly giveaways, all you have to do is be subscribed, leave a like, and comment down below on any of the pre-recorded videos we post. 3 winners each and every week that will get 12 Astral Radiance break pack. Or I always say break packs. Gosh dang it. 12 Astral Radiance packs. Prices for top tier waifus in Japan have always been crazy high. True. Very true. What's up, Julio? How you doing, brother? Hopefully all is well. What's your opinion on old cards, black and white and prior? Well, it depends. Are you talking about from an investment perspective? Are you talking about from an investment perspective, or are you talking about from an artwork perspective? And then I'll answer your question, Dan, because I could go in and rant about both. What's up, Rad? Hello, hello, baby. Origin form Dialga V alt art should be worth 1,000. That I would disagree with. That should not be worth that much money. For an ultra modern card, 1,000? That's a little much. I don't think any ultra modern card should be worth 1,000. UT, my long-term plan is buying low to mid-tier chase cards and grades, the possible 10s in like 2 years or whatever is cheaper, and then resell raw cards for other people chasing to grade 10s. I mean, it's definitely not a terrible strategy. I think for me, it really just comes down to if you see a like price, how do I want to say this? A price disparity between the 10s and the 9s. So like what I mean by that is you see an undervaluing, like especially for BGS, there's a lot of cards I've noticed in BGS prices that are insanely expensive in like 10s and 9.5s and then black labels. And if you do the math compared to what it is to buy it raw in Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield era, you're like, you could make so much money off of it versus PSA cards. It's so much more populated, we'll say. The Eli Wi-Fi strikes again, ain't that right, John? Froze for a second there. Do you think PSA graded Evolution VMAX cards will go down in price anytime soon? It's impossible to collect them all. I would believe so, especially considering prices are so expensive on them to grade. It just makes sense to me. The reason for that is because 1, we have a reprint coming up soon, and then 2, I expect prices to get down to around, I want to say, if I were to guess, probably going to get around to 20 to 25 grading fee. So I don't see how they would not keep going down, and we can even take a look at the trends on them too and see how it's been. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's been going up or it hasn't been going down because of the overall demand, but also I wouldn't be surprised if it was going down because the supply have been going up. So I mean, yeah, it's kind of been going basically flat to slightly up. So I would say this is just sideways basically and slightly up. I mean, it's making, if you're talking about a charting perspective, it made a high, then low, then lower high, and then it's kind of going sideways right now. So we'll see. I definitely think PSA dropping the prices will make it so much cheaper. Especially when we take a look at Champion's Path. The reason it has so much a higher supply is because Champion's Path came out before PSA was closed. LOL, that's some copium. Yeah, right. That's what I'm thinking. In your opinion, what's the most bang for your buck grading service? Ooh, it depends on what you're grading, Dan. I think if you're grading ultra modern, I would say for me, BGS. If you're grading older, I like PSA better, because with PSA you have a better shot of getting a 10 than you do with Beckett, and so for that reason it makes more sense financially for you to go with PSA on these older cards that are harder, because they're in older condition to get those 10s more than likely, so you have a better shot with PSA, and the premiums for older cards on PSA are extremely good. BGS, on the other hand, it's harder to get those 10s and black label 10s, and so if you're talking ultra modern, then I would go that direction, because most of the time the value that you're going to get from sending in ultra modern in PSA, if they do happen to get 9s and 10s, is not going to be nearly as good as if you get BGS 9.5s, 10s, and black labels. Who is grading for 20? So Ray, no one is grading for 20. I think CGC is grading for 15. I was just saying for PSA, if they were to bring down their prices to 20, which is what I predict they will do within the next year, because they're about almost fully caught up on their back supply. So demand's going to go down, and you're probably going to see, because no one's going to be paying these $50 prices for ultra modern unless there's a guaranteed 10. So I think 20 will be a realistic price it could come down to. But yeah, I think CGC is 15 or 18. Raheem, if you want to DM me that, I can, or if someone wants to in the comment section, correct me on that. And then BGS is 35 for subgrades, and I think 25 without, something around the lines of that. Maybe check StockX for PSA slabs. What specifically, Dan? Did you ask an older question that I missed in reference to? Who is already answered that question. Hey Eli, I'm sure you said this before, but what's your take on BGS 9.5 slab value versus PSA 10? I was looking at an example of an Napoleon V alt art BGS 9.5 that's up on eBay. PSA 10 200 sold for. I mean, obviously you're going to get more value out of a PSA 10, no doubt. It makes sense to me. But also you have to take into consideration a better comparison, I think, is a BGS 10 versus a PSA 10. Let me put it for you this way, Julio. And I don't even think I need to look at the example, because you could probably pull up examples for most cards, and the 10s for PSA are 9 times out of 10 going to be worth more than the BGS 9.5. I think that it comes down to, in my opinion, specifically if we're talking like an ultramodern card from Napoleon V alt art, if you want it for your collection, the cheapest route for you is definitely going to be going with PSA. If you're talking about, I want to buy it cheap, I want to buy the best graded one, go the PSA route. If you're talking about buying as a collector, if you're talking about grading to flip, let me put it for you this way. If your cap with that card is $200 PSA, and that's the best you can do, versus BGS, a 9.5 is $119, a 10 is probably, going to bring you several $100s more, and we can actually go look at that card. Let's see if they even have a BGS. BGS Empoleon. Let's see if I don't even know if I spelled Empoleon right. Oh, whoopsie. Raheem says it's 15 if you submit 50 or more and you have a membership. Thank you, Raheem. Am I spelling Empoleon right? Empoleon. Wait. Yeah, it's spelled right. Maybe if I type something in differently. Ah! Stop freezing! You can tell it's frozen because of literally the click button being broken. Here, let's just look up BGS. Napoleon V alternate art BGS. It's only popping up with CGC. See, that's the thing too, is there's such low pop, you can't even find sales data on it when I'm looking BGS. Maybe if I look up BGS 10, maybe that'll be a better search word. Who knows, we'll find out. See if we can use this example. No, I mean, you've got the 10 right there for the PSA, which you were referencing. That's so interesting. See, BGS 10 that sold for 1,500. BGS 10 sold for 810. Maybe we do that. Here, let's do Charizard V alternate art. So BGS 10 for Charizard V alternate art. PSA 10. Let's see if we can find that one. That could be a good example. I mean, Charizards are graded more. See if I can read while we wait for it. Why BGS, Brian says? Just because premiums for Ultra Modern. You're going to get better premiums. Okay, so here's a perfect example. Okay, so as you can see, I mean, we're probably talking this one sold for sub 500. This one sold for 510, 539, 435. I mean, these are all probably selling for sub 500. So I would say that if you just saw the value that you're getting off the Charizard V alternate art, you're talking around 500 to sub $500 versus if we go BGS 10 on the Charizard V alternate art. And let's say you get 810. This one sold. Oh, this was in April though. This was in April, that's why. Can we even find another BGS? No, we can't. They're all PSAs. Yeah, so the BGSs, I mean, just with this one listing though, it sold for more and it was on 38 bids. So that was high volume. This isn't like a low volume card. So you're probably, in all honesty, going to get those better premiums. So for me, if you're telling me that my cap for this card is $500, depending upon, you know, if it gets a 10 or not, and then you taking grading fees into consideration and how much it costs you to buy the card versus BGS, your cap, this is just a 10. You know, a 10 on this is going to get you 810. Now, of course, your floor is going to be better too because you're having a 9.5, which is going to be slightly less than a 10, but you're still making money off a 9.5 if you're buying it for 180, spending $50 to, you know, grade it with PSA versus 35 with BGS. So not only is it cheaper, but you have better upside with it too, because BGS is going for around 35 right now with subgrades. PSA is 50 without. So if you're literally talking about doing the strategy right now, it just financially would make more sense for you to go the BGS route for those two reasons. So you have better upside, because let's say you get a 9.5, right? That's okay. Your worst case scenario with BGS, your worst case scenario is going to be the 9s. And don't get me wrong, like, it's entirely possible. They're harder to grade. And that's why you're going to be sending in the ones that, and this is a risky, first and foremost, not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but this general strategy is risky nonetheless. However, you're telling me that if you're sending in a BGS 9, I mean, we obviously can't even see, I don't even see some sales history, but you're probably saying your floor is going to be around what you paid for the card. So your floor isn't even going to be that bad. You're mainly going to just be taking a loss on like grading fees for BGS. Versus with PSA, if you're talking about the same exact thing, I mean, we see a recent sale for a 9, 265. You're saying you're paying, you know, $50 on it. You're walking away after fees, after insurance, probably making around, I mean, you're losing money if you're selling on eBay, but if we take eBay fees out of it, you're walking with like 15 to $20, maybe at best. After fees, you're losing money. So the value you're going to be getting from BGS is so much greater, just so much greater. Shout out to my dog Axel, Rocket, Busty, and Tilly. Keep up the great content. Hey, I appreciate you, Rusty. UT Long, yeah, of course, no problem, guy. Hi, good afternoon, Eli. How rare are PSA 10s and black labels? Like, how many times would you have to pull a certain card? So I actually am coming up with a spreadsheet of data that I want, that comes with the percentage odds of that. So I think the the black label odds, it was around 8, depending upon the card. It obviously print matters too. But for general prints, like if you're talking standard prints and ones that aren't like Burning Shadows, Evolution, specific cards that had terribles grading conditions, you're looking at around 80, I think it was 75 at the low to 100. So your odds of a black label are like 1 in 75 to 100. Versus PSA 10s, I think that at this point it's like 1 in 4, 1 in 3. Like PSA 10s are so much easier to get than a black label. But there's a reason why when you talk about black label cards, they sell for 10x of what a, you know, PSA is, which is why I think it's unfair to compare black labels to I think it's unfair to compare black labels to PSA 10s because their value is so much greater. It's better to compare PSA 10s to 9.5s and 10s, because with 9.5s, you know, 9.5s are going to be easier for you to get than these 10s and black label 10s, and you're still having a better upside and lower grading fees. So it's $15 cheaper grading fees and higher upside and a better floor. I don't see, like, just from a financial perspective, BGS pop report is so low for modern, extremely low. And there's a high demand for BGS, which is what blows my mind away. People are paying crazy prices for it. Everyone, their mom would send in a PSA if they pulled it. Exactly, dude. Forget to mention that I was talking about the alt-art version of that evolution card. Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad. Do you think the PSA graded Evolution VMAX card will? Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, like I said, it'll more than likely go down. As always, reprint, clickbait, and as always, you know nothing. Well, that's just kind of rude, Terry. That's definitely not true. That is definitely not true. I have called both the Brilliant Star reprint, the Evolving Skies reprint, all the ETB reprints. I call most reprints, Terry. So I don't know, man. And as I mentioned in the video as well, I mentioned rumors, and sometimes rumors are true. We've had rumors for both. I literally made a video called Rumors Evolving Sky Booster Box Reprint is Coming, and I said that I was willing to bet that we would hear confirmation of it by the end of the month, and straight up 3 days later after I posted the video, I got a call from my distributor saying Evolving Skies reprint is coming. So I don't know, man. I don't know if you're just trying to troll me or just kind of being rude, but I mean, to each their own, man. To each their own opinion. No point of squabbling over it. For people sorting through Astral Radiance bulk, hold on to your trekking shoes and gutsy pickaxe. I mean, definitely a thing. Clickbait works on me. In regards to old cards, I do like the artwork better, but investing wise would be, I mean, it can be good. It's just harder with older cards because you're not guaranteed those 9s and 10s more than likely. If you're having older cards that you can get those 9s and 10s, if you're buying off of like collections and some people got really good condition ones, then there's definitely money to be made. I'm trying to buy a case of Darkness Ablaze Elite Trainer boxes from your website. However, it's only allowing me to select 9. I almost wonder if I'm out. Matt, if you want to message me after the stream, I can definitely message me after the stream, Matt. I'm going to check my inventory just to double check that I have a case's worth. I should have a case's worth, and I can try and fix that for you. I do apologize. Message me on Discord if you're not already in it. The link is down in the description below. UT Long, probably Choice Belt and Ultra Balls, possibly. Kindler's Fire Start better. Also, would you recommend trying to trade away Evolving Skies cards like VMAX Evolutions before reprint? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. That's what I'd be doing. I usually stray away from training in cards bulk. Thanks. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Accidentally interrupt my class. Hey, you're all good. Thanks for stopping by, Glitch. Brian asks again why BGS. Like I just mentioned before, the reason with BGS. I like it better because there's just a lot better upside and the price is cheaper to send it in with BGS, so I don't know why not. And it's got just as good of a floor as PSA if you're talking 9s and talking about 9 grades, you know. What's up, Vegas? Thanks for stopping by. Think AGS grades for $20. Yeah, but AGS, man, I mean, it's not going to get you anywhere near as good of a premium. AGS, I mean, it's AGS is just not one of those grading companies. If you're sending it into any of the 3, CGC, PSA, and Beckett are the 3. And in order for Ultra Modern, I mean, CGC is more, in my opinion, if you want your card in a slab. It's the cheapest option, and if you want it in a slab and you want it to be held for display, then you can go that route. Please talk about the Presses collection. Is it worth investing in? Recently came back to pre-orders on the Pokemon Center. Yes, I love it. Blazer, we talked about this actually not that long ago on a stream in depth where I was basically saying how much I love it and how I think it could do extremely well. And the card on it, the card artwork for the Pikachu is gorgeous. So I think it will do great. Should I support my LGS for grading? They're at $12. Not recommended on that one, Patrick. Who would win in a boxing match? Nostalgianomics or Pokemon card knowledge? Oh, Joe is trying to bring drama into the chat. I don't know, Joe Schmo. I don't know, but I was hearing, because I was, so So I follow Nostalgianomics, right? And I watch some of his videos. I will say two things about Nostalgianomics. One, whether you hate it or you love it, his branding and what he's doing from his own personal PR, they say all press is good press. And so I know there's some people that are like, I love what he's doing. Yeah, frick all these older people that are into WotC. Ultramodern's the best. Or frick all these ultramodern people. WotC's still the best. There's like a division, and he knows that he's poking at it, and he's able to and he's calling out people and starting a bunch of drama. I mean, you take a look at Logan Paul, for example, or like Jake Paul, even a better example. This guy, I mean, Jake Paul is not a professional boxer, but he's gotten millions of dollars because he just runs his mouth, right? And that's not to say that, and I want this to come off the right way, that's not to say that he doesn't know what he's Nostalgianomics doesn't know what he's saying, because obviously Conor McGregor's a great boxer and he runs his mouth too. But my point is you have people that understand how branding works and they understand recognition, and if you say a lot of things, you're going to get a lot of people that are gonna pick sides and follow you. And so by him, starting this kind of quarrel with Pokemon card knowledge, I mean, it's only helping his how do I want to say this, his viewership is what we'll say. So definitely an interesting question to ask, who'd win in a boxing match. I couldn't tell you on that one. I don't know what their background is on any of that stuff, but I can tell you that it's definitely interesting to see them debate things. What is your opinion on Secret Rare Mew Celebrations cards? Do you think PSA 10 will be in high demand in the future? I mean, in the future, that's a hard question to ask because we know how easy it is to pull these cards for celebrations. However, if you take other, sets such as Generations, Legendary Treasures, with a lot of these cards that had really high pull rates, they still had value over time. I mean, let's try and see if we can look at an example from a set, one of these other sets. Like, let's take a look at, here, let's go sets. Let's see if we can find some with Generations. I think Generations could be a good example. So we go Hidden Fates, Generations. All right, so let's take a look at Generations and let's go Radiant Collection, right? Because I think Radiant Collection is going to be most comparable to a lot of the specialty cards. And we can just take a look and see what some of the recent prices are. Now, you're probably going to see a decline because most cards, took a hit because of COVID, but you're probably going to see a sharp incline at some point over time because the demand was extremely high. And maybe this isn't best. I mean, I would say they probably have the sales history for this. All right, so let's see. So if we look at this, yeah. Yeah, and this is not a hard card to pull. You could probably go buy a bunch of Generations packs for around $40 a piece, $35 a piece. Pull a bunch of these cards, and your profitability ratio is going to be extremely high in Generations, and that's even if you hit 9s. Like, I don't know. Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. Actually, even if you hit 9s, that's not true at all. Well, I don't know. You want those double banger packs from Generations, but if we're just taking the argument, $319 for a card like this, obviously it's a low pop, but there's still a ton of Generations product around. Here's what I'll say about your question. I think there is a possibility it could do well because there are a lot of Generations cards, a lot of Legendary Treasure cards that were high, like easy pull rates, but problem is not many people were grading them. So I think that it could do well because these cards did well, but also to be fair, the population on these is a lot lower. But to be fair, they can still be graded if people want to add more pop to it, but still hasn't happened. So I think there's a possibility, but we're going to have to really see what the potential, what's the word I'm looking for, population report will be in the next, couple of years at least. I asked about 9.5 just because it's comparing Gem Mint to Gem Mint rather than PSA. That's a fair comparison, Julio. No, that's a completely fair comparison. And I think for that reason, Julio, although there's a greater value to be made, like I said before, with those PSA 10s versus the BGS 9.5s, your upside is greater with BGS. And you're paying 15 less grading fees, and a 9 BGS versus a 9 PSA is going to hold more value too. So your floor is going to be better, your upside is going to be better, your grading fees are going to be better. So the only time this isn't going to be good is if it's older, you know, non-ultra modern product. And you know the turnaround time for BGS is for the level of, I have no clue on that. Couldn't answer that. Eli with the gassy shirt. Yes, sir. Dunder Mifflin representing, baby, to all them Office fans. You said PSA 10 in 1 and 4 these days. I have a PSA 8.5 Charizard EX. No, Dan. I said, let me read what you said. Then I'll answer. I have a PSA 8.5 EX from Red and Green, which was bought for me like 9 years ago. Would it be worth to break out and resend and try and get a better grade? Okay, so I want to make sure I clarify on this properly, Dan. I was saying that for ultra modern, and I think I made that point. If I didn't, I do apologize. But it's ultra modern cards, because let's look at like let's look at ratios. Let's go to PSA right now. Let's not pull up my login like I always do. All right. Oh, looks like I'm already logged in. Just kidding. Sweet. All right, so let's go look at population report. What's a good example we can have, right? I think that we're gonna look at 2 in particular. First one we're gonna look at is Champions Path. It's the first one we're gonna take a look at. Champions Path, and we're gonna look at the ratios. We're gonna take a look at ratios, and we're gonna say which one is better. All right, so if we say, it's Italian, English. All right, so look at the ratio for the Full Art Secret, 8,030 to 2,844. So actually it's 1 in 3. It's not even 1 in 4 based off of what this is showing us. And then let's see at the other one, Dreadnought, it's about 1 in 3. It's about around 1 in 3. 1 in 3. So it's actually better. It's actually more 1 in 3. But I want to, before we look into that, there's another one I wanted to point out, and this is another thing that's crazy. Is let's go to Evolving Skies, and let's take a look at this. If we go and see what Evolving Skies prices are, and population report, this is where it gets really fun to see. For Rayquaza, okay, so you're saying to yourself, 84 9s versus 10s. Guys, I want you to see that. There's more 10s than 9s in this. What? Let's go back to Champions Path again. There's more 10s than 9 with the Evolving Skies. And that's like 5x more. And that's the thing, man. Now that I look at this, holy shit, I read this backwards. I just swore. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, demonetized. Okay, we're gonna take a look at this. I said 1 in 4 was your odds. Let me change that around. It's the other way around. I read this the wrong way. Your odds of getting a 9 are 1 in 3 based on what this is telling me. So your odds for getting a 10 are stupid high. Stupid high. Which you might say to yourself, well, Eli, isn't that a good thing? Because I have a higher chance of getting a 10 than I say, let's say, you know, a pristine 10, or comparing it to a 9.5. There's a reason why the 10s are worth so much less. Is because they're so easy to get. They're so easy to get. It's a 3-to-1 ratio, and this is comparing it before you had PSA closed down. So it's just so much easier to get those 10s. So I read this backwards at first. I apologize. Yo, it's rain. It's dumping rain outside. Wow, that's crazy. It was 70 degrees a second ago. Our weather's weird where I live. I don't know, man. PSA 10 ratios are easier to get. I mean, you could say it's a good thing because it's a higher chance, but your downside is so much greater with it than BGS, because you're paying $30 or $15 more, and you're also talking about it being valued less if we're to get a 9 compared to the other one. Don't justify yourself to that clown, Eli. Yeah, I'm sorry, Glitch. I know some people are gonna hate, man. Just join any reprint news on Champions Path. As it stands right now, sadly none, Mark. It is possible. I think Rebel Clash is more likely to get a reprint at this point over Champions, because Rebel is more competitively viable. We'll see. Hot take prediction. Of course, this is just a hot take. I think we're more likely to see something like an ETB reprint to come in, something at like a Walmart store, you could see that pop up, over a booster box. I'd prefer booster box, but I think that's more than likely because they did that with Sword and Shield base. Do you think that this Evolving Skies reprint would be big enough to satisfy the demand? I definitely hope so, because here's the thing. I'm not going to say, scratch your name. I scratch him. That's such a creative name. That's so funny. That made me laugh. I think that with the purchase of the Millennium Print group and the fact of the matter that they very much are aware of the demand for Evolving Skies, I think there's a high probability that you're going to see, as we've been told right now, the small wave that's coming, and then you're going to see a massive wave to follow. Now, they could potentially, pull it back on demand because, pull it back on printing to demand because demand for general Pokemon and just items have gone down because of what's going on in the economy. But in my personal opinion, in specific sets like Evolving Skies that are already high demand, I don't think they're going to do that because the prices have still been going up. So I don't know why they wouldn't. Ray T, what do you think of Pokemon Precious Collector's Box coming in November? Love it. Think it's great. Talked about it a little bit early in the stream, and then we've talked about it before on other streams, but I'm a huge fan of it. Is there any good site to trade, or are LGS is my best bet? What do you mean by trade? Like, are you talking about trade in your cards or like trade cards, or what do you mean by that specifically, Tyrone? Do you think we're getting a booster box and ETB reprint for ES then? Do you think we're getting a booster box and ETB reprint for ES then? So we have confirmation, Dalton, that we're getting a booster box reprint for Evolving Skies. ETB is not confirmed. I don't know what the possibility. It's possible. Because here's the question that we need asked, Dalton, or answered, is we had a reprint for Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze, Shining Fates. Now, did we get a reprint for those sets because they're about to go to rotation? Or did we get a reprint for those sets because they were underprinted because of COVID supply chain issues that we were having during the pandemic? It's got to be one of the two. And if the first one it was because of supply chain issues and they wanted to just send more into the market because prices were skyrocketing, then less likely. If they're saying because of the fact that they are aware of the demand and the prices were too expensive, and although the first part played a factor, but they more or less are just more... they're more they care more about price control, then you could see the argument for a reprint happening. So there's different arguments to be made. We'll find out, only time will tell, of course, but I'm under the belief that you could see potentially one more ETB reprint happen based on the fact that there's demand for it. However, the only reason why you could only see it happen probably once compared to multiple booster box reprints is because it's easier to reprint booster boxes than ETBs, because ETBs you got to do with card dividers, pack sleeves, dice, and then your 8 packs versus with booster boxes, just 36 packs. Super easy for them to reprint. Yawk, how much is a Charizard Cams Rainbow Rare? I'm sorry, what's a Cams? Did you mean to say VMAX? Is it crazy that Alt-Art Umbreon is more expensive than the Alt-Art Charizard? No, it's not. No, it's not crazy. I think it's not crazy, Joe, because we just had because Brilliant Star is the most recent set that's been in print. And hypothetically speaking, Joe, if you were to tell me right here, right now, Brilliant Star stopped reprinting everything, and then 6 months from now, 7 months from now, it makes sense the prices would go up, right? Versus Evolving Skies had its last print in November, and the price was as low as 170, I think I showed on the chart. So for me, it actually only makes sense that something like that would happen because it hasn't had a print since November. And so for that reason, it's had 7 months to go nothing but up. Versus the Charizard, it just had a reprint happen. It's going to have more prints happening probably for Brilliant Star, and it's also one of the most recent sets that came out, so it makes sense to me. As I have a couple and may sell one. Yeah, are you talking about the VMAX? Yeah, shoot another message and I'd love the clarification. Julio, thank you, Eli. Yeah, of course, brother. Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that. Julio. Firm P, Generations to the Moon. Generations is ridiculously underpriced, in my opinion. So I think it's, I shouldn't say it's underpriced. I just think that the population report is so low for what the pull rates are, which is kind of incredible to me. Dang, it's mind-boggling to think XY came out 9-ish years ago, bro. Time flies. That's for sure, Digi. I don't understand why Delta Species Pokemon Reverse Holo cards are not so much more than that. Bro, Joe, we've talked about this before on the stream, man, with other people. And I am 100% in agreement with you, Joe. A lot of these Delta Species cards are highly undervalued. And honestly, I think the same goes for a lot of these PSA. A lot of it goes for these PSA cards from the Reverse Holos in the Diamond and Pearl era, man. So low pop. Like, so low pop, right? And don't get me wrong, some of them are definitely priced appropriately. But some of them, man, are like pop one, like reverse holo rares that are going for $150 Like, what? That's so cheap, especially when you're talking pop ones on these cards. Same goes for Delta Species. I mean, you don't really have a ton of pop one Delta Species, but you do have a lot of low pop Delta Species. In the reverse holos, and with the stamp too, I think they look gorgeous. I think a lot of them are undervalued, you know, because as I made in another video before, I made an argument about this. You see a lot of EX era collectors and other older collectors that are super wealthy individuals that want a master set because they have that kind of money. And if you have those pop one cards and they and money isn't an object for them, they're going to be willing to pay it if you're trying to flip it, if it's a pop one. Yeah, Dalton, I 1000% agree with you on that one. I 1000% agree with you on that one. I do think the ratio is higher because most people are just sending them in. But here's the thing. Although I agree with you, Dalton, you also have to also guess. I assume that means that most people are probably sending them in are knowledgeable in regards to grading and understanding good quality conditions on cards. And then once PSA reopens again, then the public is going to start sending them in, and then you'll probably see that 9 go up. Should I sell my Brilliant Star of cases? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. The prices are not going down on Brilliant Star booster boxes. I am still able to order 2 cases a week. 2 cases a week of Brilliant Star. I have never been able to do that before. And prices are going up. Like I said, there's more than likely an expectation that you're going to see other distributors have more product pretty soon here from what I've heard. So honestly, man, if it were me personally, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, like I said, I'd probably start offloading because that's what I've been doing. Because literally, I've ordered within the past week, the past month, I've ordered over 100 booster boxes. Someone's either calling me or my battery's dying. Battery's dying. Love to see it. I've ordered almost 100 booster boxes in the past month. 100 booster boxes of Brilliant Star. That's almost as much as I got for Wave 1 and Wave 2. 100. I don't know, man. I'm going to order more on Friday, probably. So, I'm excited for that. I'm just eating it up at this point. You know what I'm saying? AK Charizard V is PSA 10 already. Wait, AK Charizard V in PSA 10 already? What do you mean? Just get a rad. Just get a grade 11 then. Jeez, dude. Is PSA BGS 9.5 better than PSA 10? No, Wiles 10, 9 times out of 10, funny that you say it like that, 9 times out of 10, BGS 9.5 is going to be worth less than a PSA 10. It just makes sense. However, with that being said, with BGS, you have a potential of getting pristine 10s and black label 10s. And the 9s, if I'm correct, I don't want to be doing false quotes, but let's look up a Pokemon card. BGS 9. Let's just look one up, and then we'll try and find the counterpart to it. Oh my gosh, why are they so hard to find? Alright, so here, let's see this one. This one's probably going to be high. BGS 9 Mint Dark Wheezing, $69 plus $5.50 shipping. Sold not that long ago. Let's see how much the PSA 9 went for. Let's remember this number, guys. Remember this number. It sold basically for 74 bucks. Okay, so the PSA 9 sold a while ago. It sold for around $5 more, $6 more. This one sold for the same price. This one sold for less. This one sold for less. So here's the deal. 9s BGS versus 9s, just based off of what we're seeing here, they've got around a similar floor. 9.5s versus 10s, PSA 10s are better. However, you still have 2 more areas that you can get 9.5s and 10s for BGS. So, or sorry, 10, pristine 10s and black label 10s, sorry, with BGS. So you have that higher upside, $15 cheaper grading fee. You've got around the same floor with the 9s. The only instance in where it's like, you know, quote unquote worse is if you're going to get the 9.5 versus the 10, which, to be fair, I mean, if you're going through and you're inspecting cards very aggressively and you're self-aware of what grading conditions are, then you could totally take that risk and say, I'd much rather play it safe and send in a 10 PSA, because a 10 PSA is going to be so much easier to get than a pristine 10 or a black label, let alone. So if you're trying to, you know, play it safe, however, with that being said, for me, the floor is still really, like, this floor is still really high. Or they're around the same floor, but the upside is still so much greater. You're just saying to yourself, if you know you're gonna get a 10, but you for PSA, but you can't confirm if you're gonna get a pristine 10 with BGS, then you can take that risk. But for me, the risk to reward ratio just feels so much better with BGS, especially when you're also having less to spend in grading fees. So, because for me, honestly, right? Let's say I send in a card and I think it's worth a 10, right? And let's say it gets a BGS 9.5. I know I'm taking a loss. Let's say I send in, here's a better example. Let's say I send in 100 cards, right? And I know that of those 100 cards, obviously if I'd sent them into PSA, I'd probably have more 10s than 9s for PSA. And I could have made good money. But I know that over time, more than likely, the 10s, and if I'm lucky, a pristine 10, is going to more greater make up the value lost from 9.5s compared to 10s, because upsides are so much greater. That's what I'm going to say. And maybe I'll have to make a video about it. I would love to make a video where I go through a full submission process, and literally this is just a video I'm making. I'm sending out 100 of this one card. We're sending it in to just BGS, and then I can do another video where I send in the same of the 100 card into PSA. Or, you know, or I think honestly just send it into BGS, and then we can see really what the true odds are of doing that. Yeah, Delta Species Pokemon are fire, and that reverse haul is so much better. That agree. I guess I mean trade my cards for other cards. That's a hard one, Tyrone. I really think that is something that a website could do something like that. I don't think, do they have a site for that where it's a trading site? Because I think that would be a really cool concept. I think it would be a really cool concept if you had a trading site that basically brokered online trades for Pokemon cards and product. And that could be innovational. I think there could be a demand for that. If anyone knows of a website that already does that, but going on to like Facebook groups or like, you know, Discord pages can sometimes be shady with scammers. So if you were to have a website that specifically did that, that could be revolutionary. Can I get a price guess on the Lechonk's first card? Yo, Lechonk is already winning everyone over. Oh, you guys hear that noise? I don't know if you can hear it, but it is dumping rain outside right now. Yo, Lechonk has won the hearts of people already. For those people that didn't see it, Violet. Yo, that is loud. I think I'm spelling Lechonk wrong. No, I spelled it right. Lechonk, baby. Oh my god, yeah, Scarlet and Violet. Alright, guys. I don't like the tire in the stomach. I think that Violet looks so much cooler than Scarlet. So much cooler. Maybe it's just me, but not the biggest fan. How much will August Evolving Skies reprint cost? Well, it depends, Mouster, because what we know so far is it's a small reprint. However, we were told the same thing. Wow, that is loud. I might have to shut the door if that's too loud. If you guys can hear that, but maybe it's soothing. So here's the thing, Mouster. As I mentioned before with Brilliant Star. Brilliant Star had a small print and what looks like a large print to follow. I've already gotten a large amount from some distributors. I'm expecting, from the sounds of it, to get more from another distributor. Prices, for the most part, on Brilliant Star product is, for cards, are crashing a lot. And so there's an expectation that you could see the same thing happen with Evolving Skies, where prices really do start off with a small wave and then it ends up crashing. Now, with that being said, if we're going to go off of the same metric of what's kind of going on, you could see prices go down. I mean, Charizard, in the past, I want to say, let's take the past month, it's gone down about 20-ish%. This Charizard has gone down about 10%. We look at some of the other cards, like an Arceus V, it's gone down in the past 3 months. Let's look at the monthly. I'd much rather look at the monthly. It's gone down another 10%, so who knows, man? I mean, and this is not fully representative when we're going to be getting new products soon, so I would personally say that you could see these prices go down more as more product throws up. So I think a safe estimate is saying that if it's only a small wave, you could see the price go down 10 to 15%, and if it's a lot larger of a wave, you could honestly see the price correct down 25 to 30%, which would put it right around the price point of, I mean, let's take a look at what it's going for right now. It's going for around, so if we were to just take a full retracement on it, and we were to say 337, and let's say it goes down 10%, it's going down to 300. If you're saying it's going to go down around 30%, then you're talking about it going back to low 200s. So, but it could drop more, it could drop less, who knows, but that's what I'm thinking. Depends on how much of a print we're truly going to get. As it stands right now, I wouldn't be holding, well, I don't know. As it stands right now, I'm going to say conservatively 10%, but I think it could drop way more, in all honesty. But I don't want to, you know, nothing's fully confirmed on if we're going to have a follow-up second larger wave, but it makes sense. That makes sense. I just hate talking to people. I'll suck it up one day if I want to trade. Hey man, like I said, it'd be cool if they did a website about it. How cheap do you think Astral Radiance, Brilliant Star, and Evolving booster boxes will go? I think Astral, it's already basically sub 100 at this point, to my knowledge. I mean, we can take a look and see. Astral Radiance booster boxes. So, Astral Radiance booster boxes. So, that's 105 on a bid. What are they selling for recently? 103. Let's see if we can find cheaper. 104, 103. So they're basically, as it stands right now, selling for around that $100 price point. You could probably find it other places for less than 100 if I were to guess. So I think you could eventually see Astral go sub 100 to the like low 90s. As far as it goes with Brilliant Star, I think it really comes down to how big of a drop we're gonna hopefully see within the next week or two with other distributors getting product. The fact, like I said before, it hasn't started crashing, it makes zero sense to me, like considering how much I've been recently buying. So in reality, if the market should be dropping like I predicted it would, I would say it should go down to 105, 110 at the least. But we're not seeing that correction yet, and it is mind-boggling to me. It's almost like, and this might be a bad comparison, it's almost like when the '08 crash happened and the rates weren't defaulting immediately, and the prices actually went up initially. Because, yeah. So I would say, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very deja vu, but it's also at the same time not extremely comparable, but kind of comparable because of the sentiment. Please do that grading submission video. That'd be great. Yeah, of course. I'd love to do that. Hey, Eli, I've been wanting to ask this for a while now. How come you don't pronounce the S in the end of Brilliant Star? Z? No, I'm just kidding. Not trying to be an a-hole, just super curious. Brilliant... So there's a Brilliant Stars reprint coming up. There's a Brilliant Star reprint coming up. There's a Brilliant Star. It's a Brilliant Stars. I'm a huge fan of Brilliant Star. Huge fan. I'm getting thrown off now. You're not being an a-hole at all, dude. I didn't know I do that. It's weird. Now thinking about it, I'm like, huh, I'll have to rewatch my videos and that'll throw me off. I don't know, man. That's weird. I don't know. If I do that, that's crazy. I didn't recognize that. Didn't even think about it. That's so funny. It's just one of those passive things. It's kind of like how I do a lot of, with that being said, and at the end of the day, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. With that being said, I mean, I do a lot of the same things, and I've started to notice it a lot more because of you guys. You don't notice it until you notice it, you know? It's kind of like, has anyone seen the show How I Met Your Mother? There's this episode called, like, Breaking the Glass, and it's basically where, I said basically twice already. Wow, someone's screaming in the rain. The whole concept of the episode is that there's something about another individual or something about a person that you don't notice, and that could also work for yourself and other people notice it, but that glass is in between that individual thing that you don't recognize about that person, and once that glass is broken, then all of a sudden you can't stop thinking about it because you're like, crap, now that I noticed it. In Magic the Gathering, there are card deck renting services. I wonder if it is in Pokemon. Yo, that's a great concept, Digi. Wow, that's a great concept. That's so cool. John Boy, I probably will play it. I've thought about this. Yo, I actually want to do a poll. I'll do this poll right now. If I created a gaming channel, would you watch? That's the question. You're probably going to say depending upon the game, but I don't know, just a thought. I've been going through and I've been playing a lot of Black Ops 3 Zombies with friends, and we've been speed running Easter eggs. And I don't know, it was one of those things where if I created a gaming channel, is that something you guys would be interested in watching? So I'll probably end up playing Scarlet Violet. Rideable Motorcycle Legendary and Jet Bike Legendary, I'm sold, right? Bro, do you guys hear that rain? Holy moly. I'll close the window. Do you guys want me to close the window? I hate talking to people too. It's cool meeting people. Well, hopefully I'll get to meet some of you guys in real life. I'm going to try and shoot for a convention sometime either this year or the start of next year. I wish it rained this much where I live. Bro, this is the most it's rained in a while. This is a crazy amount of rain. That's so much. Astral for 100 and some online shops? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. When should I pick up the Dialga Altar? Good question, Snoopy. Specifically, the reason why I say that's such a good question is because usually I have a pretty easy answer to that. It's after it's gotten its 3rd wave, or, you know, its initial 2 waves and then a reprint wave. However, with Astral, it's only had 1 wave.